Welcome back to Universe X, and in this video we are going to hit up one of those fabled, so-called, talked about archetype breakdowns. I used to do this a long time ago, like I'm talking like sets and sets ago, like Destroy Your King sets ago. And so I guess it's fitting that I get back to it in a set where technically there's the same deck, or at least the successor of a deck. And we're going to be starting on red today with Gogeta. So before I slide into the breakdown, as I always say, hit that subscription button if you think that you want to see more content. Even if you don't, just try to help me out. But really though, and also I'm going to be posting a lot of stuff just kind of on the fly. Like today they released the final card for the set, which is in the premium pack 02, which is a Gogeta card, and I wasn't going to make a whole video for that. It doesn't really fit in with the deck I'm building, so I put that over just on the Twitter. But you can follow me at UniXDBS. It is what it is. So let's actually get over to the screen cap and let's talk more about the red Gogeta deck from Vermilion Bloodline. Alrighty then, so we're over on tap just so you can see this. As you can already see, most of the deck list right here. I'm going to go into the cards and explain why they are at where they're at. And the first things I want to kind of say about this is that one, this is not something I'm trying to take to like top some online event. This is just me wanting to at least play with the Gogeta cards and trying to make a viable strategy to at least close out a game. Because frankly, I'm gonna be real, I think Gogeta as a whole archetype, it's just a little too variable in terms of cards, because you need the fusion material, you need the correct fusions, and they need to be sequenced. You can't see Gogetas and fusion material all in one game, or all in early game, and then see all your Veku's late game. That will completely dumpster your strategy. So yeah, we're actually just gonna move into this. Now there is another variant that's more of a beatdown that focuses on the vanilla cards and the new one drop extra card that can put them right on the field or bring them to your hand, but that may be another video. So here we are going to start with the leader. This is the Son Goku and Vegeta, and pretty much, yeah, he just allows you to draw a lot of cards, and in a combo deck, that's exactly what you need to do, because you need to get the Vekus and the Gokus and the Vegetas and eventually the Gogetas. You need to stockpile as many cards in your hand as possible to make this work. So on his front side, as you guys should remember, you discard one red Son Goku BR or red Vegeta BR card in your hand, place it in your drop area, draw 2 cards, and get up to 1 life from your life pool, and you add it to your hand. Then when you're at 4 or less, you can draw 1 card and choose up to 1 of your energy and switch to active mode and flip this card over. Now his backside is going to be, I'm just going to search it up. Yeah, so on his backside, you're gonna get SSB Gogeta Fusion Perfected. When this card attacks, draw 1 card. Then, once per turn, activate battle, choose 1 red card in your hand, place into your drop area. If there are 2 or more red Son Goku BR cards and 2 or more red Vegeta BR cards in your drop area and it's your turn, your opponent cannot activate counter skills with energy costs of 2 or more for the duration of the turn, and this card gains plus 5,000 power and double strike for the duration of the turn. So, it's not as much to stop those double, like, you know, those counter cards. Like, yes, that can come into play later, but for the most part, this is actually just for the plus 5 and double strike. So, but it's his front side that's really the most important, because to be completely honest, I think the back side of the Prophet of Demise is actually the better Gogeta, but the front side of this Gogeta is absolutely monstrous. So moving on into that, we have 4 Vegeta prepping for fusion. This guy, when you just play him, you look at the top 3 cards from your deck and choose a Veku BR card or a Son Goku BR card amongst them, add them to your hand, place the remaining card at the bottom of your deck in any order. And then at the end of the turn, he bounces to your hand. So, we have 4 of him, and then this Goku is the exact same, except he searches a Veku or a Vegeta. And we only have 3 of him though. The reason for this is because, yes, the deck can clog on Vegetas and Goku's late game, so I didn't want to run 4 and 4 of each, but it is kind of imperative for a card we're going to see in a few that we have more Vegetas that search out Gokus, because it is imperative that you get the Goku that comes from the TV pack. So moving on, as our super combo, we've got Raditz Sand Youth. He's just one of the normal cycle of tucking 1 card at the bottom of your deck and drawing 2. We've got 4 of the Gotenks Earth-Shattering Might cards, and this thing is just here in order to add way more additional pressure. You've already seen it from the red review. If you haven't, I'd suggest that you go in the link below in the just description and look at the red cards. But basically, this guy adds another card to your hand every turn. The ladder of Gogeta will help him get to his maximum like bursting point, and then you can use his ult and you have a 30k double strike dual attack, which is important. And then once per turn, he will gain a counter from Union, which is something you'll do easily. So then you've got Vegeta, Godly Aura, one of the most important cards in the deck. But basically, he is just a Vegeta, and when he is played, yeah, you can add up to 1 extra card with an energy cost of 1 and no keyword skills from your drop area to your hand. Very not important, because that would only be the 1 drop. Or, yeah, it's really not. The universe 7, where all red sands are not going to be affected by cards, or it's going to be the new vanilla searcher / player from this set, but that's not the effect we use them for. The effect we use them for is when this card is discarded from your hand by a Union Fusion skill, look up to the top 7 cards of your deck, add up to 1 Gogeta BR card amongst them to your hand, and then shuffle your deck. If you added a card to your hand, choose 1 card in your hand and discard it. Then, the most important card of this deck, common piece of this deck by far, I believe, Son Goku Godly Aura. Auto, when this card is played, add up to 1 extra card with energy cost. Is the same initial skill as the Vegeta, but the important part is when this card is discarded from your hand by a Union Fusion skill, add up to 1 card from your life to your hand. So you want to be able to fuse with these 2 cards every single time, because you'll be able to self-awaken on option, or you'll be able to, take a Gogeta from the top of your deck on option. Next, you have to be able to fuse in the first place. So we've got 4 Veku the Fragile. You guys should remember this. You can fuse for free, and then you can sack them minus 10k something, and then get your cards back, or any Vegeta and Goku BR back. Then you've got Veku Contents Under Pressure. He can swing on active modes, but he's also a free fusion. But then sometimes it is not enough, and so just to make sure that I can for surely get off my fusions, because you need to do about 2 or 3 early game, I have Veku the Triumphant, or Veku Triumphant Might, which is the old TP card. He's a recycled effect, he's a Borgos, except he's a fusion. But the thing is, even though he costs 1, he should be able to actually make it a little bit more consistent with the fusions. Next card on the list, we've got Gogeta, Fusion of the Gods. He is from the new set, but he is going to start off your game push. Really, he's going to come in, he's got deflect, so they can't stop the beginning of that chain. He's going to draw you 2 cards, and the most important part is he's going to give negative 15,000 to everything on board. That's actually a huge monumental piece to this. Well, everything on your opponent's battlefield. So he helps clear the board. If you're getting a little pressured by a bunch of weenies, he really helps thin that out. If you've been taking some 1-drops to the face, he helps that out too. Tokens, yep, right then and there. On top of that, him clearing the board is actually very important of the weenies, because as we ladder up, you'll start to see another part of the play. The next guy is SSB Gogeta Technique Unchained. Double strike, and he is going to add 2 unison markers compared to this guy's 1. Forgot about that. And when he swings or your opponent attacks once per turn, he can minus 20k to something, which is going to help clear the board. Now, this is where your turn 3 is going. Everything you just saw on the deck is going to work towards your turn 3. But your turn 4 in this deck is generally where you try to close out game. On turn 1 and 2, you should be setting up. On turn 3, you should be making sure that your Gotenks Earth-Shattering Might goes its -5 and swings, and then you should also be making sure that you can get off your swing with this guy giving something -20. Now the very next turn, hopefully, if you can pressure your opponent down to 2 life with your early aggro, you can then go into SSB Gogeta Fusion Onslaught. He's from the Destroyer King set, and if your opponent has no battle cards in play, will just take 2 of your opponent's life and put them in the trash can. He's your closer combo, but unfortunately, just because of the way this card is designed, because Bandai didn't want Gogeta to have nothing, when you play Technique Unchained, you can't play battle cards for the turn. So otherwise, this would be a turn 3 potential kill, but because you can't play battle cards for the turn, you have to wait until your following turn to be able to play this over him. Just for a bit of the flair and an extra swing, if this guy doesn't get it done, but you still have your pressure on board when you drop them down to maybe 1 life or so, you can then go into this guy off of Fusion Onslaught. And this is the new secret rare. So he will be able to at least get in 1 more swing with Double Strike. As for the extra cards, we just have 4. 4 Violent Rays, because on turn 3, it is imperative you survive until turn 4, and this guy can really actually save your life. He's disgusting like that. Then you got After Image Technique, because on turn 2 or turn 3, you will tap out. I would say that try to save your Awakening for 3 energy once you play your first Gogeta fusion. However, against certain decks, that may not even be possible. On certain decks, like against the green Majin Babidi deck, you don't want to tap out on 2 energy. You just don't. Against the black deck, you really have to see how their hand is, but tapping on turn 2 may be able to happen for that one. You may be able to stay to turn 3. However, when it comes to decks like the Broly chain, tapping out on 2 energy, if they're about to go to 2 energy, could be death, because they are about to go straight into their chain. If you have 3 energy, especially that, if you went first and you have 3 energy and they're going to 2 energy, they will be able to go up the entire chain. And so tapping out on 3 energy could be death. So just a couple things to keep into consideration. So I'm gonna hop into a game real quick, and when I hop into the game, I'm gonna show you just how this deck basically just gets off the ground. Alrighty then, so here we are. When it comes to the opening hand, you really want to make sure that you see at least a Goku and a fusion. So right now, that's a fusion. That's a Gogeta, we'll toss that back. That's a Violent Raise, the good card, we'll toss that back. There's the Goku. There's another Gogeta, we'll toss that back, and there's an After Image. Okay, this deck is going to draw a fair amount, so we can actually put half of this back, because we actually will need to make sure that we get the right cards. You know, the Violent Raise, to be honest, might just have to stay in. I'm gonna get the Violent Raise back, to be honest, because depending on the deck, it really depends on what you see in front of you. But if you see like the green deck from Vegeta, Babidi, you might want to keep the Violent Raise in. Actually, you know what? No, because they swing with a lot of small ones that get big. But it just really depends on your deck. Like the Broly deck, the Dark Broly deck, you might want to keep it in. Most certainly the Red Broly deck, you're going to want to keep this in. So against a fair amount of things, especially in this set, you're going to want to actually keep the Violent Raise. So now I'm going to draw, and what we're hoping to see is another Vegeta. We're hoping to see a Vegeta, a Goku, and we might not get that. See, I got absolutely punished. Let's see if I go first or second. Okay, so I'd be going first. So this is going to be a very, very weird, lackluster turn where we don't necessarily get to do anything. And that's one of the issues with this deck. So if it doesn't get fixed by turn 2, we essentially have to scoop it up. So here's what I'm going to do. We're going to set up life. And we are going to just start off. We can probably ditch the Gogeta, but since we don't have the Vegeta in hand, that gets a little iffy. So I'm going to put a Violent Raise down. And I do want to start off the turn by seeing more cards. And so I will drop this Goku to draw 2, because we can't stay still in this deck. We just can't. So we got the Vegeta there, unfortunately. We're going to take a life. And we're going to get another Gogeta. Okay, cool. So of course, most people will end up swinging at least once just to get that leader off, and that's kind of a darn shame, because now we have everything we need to go off except the Goku that we just pitched. So let's hopefully get another Goku, and we do not have another Goku. So look, right here, we're in a very desperate position already. Like I said, this deck requires you to get a lot of the combo pieces off early. The hand is big, but we don't have enough of what we need. So right now, I'm going to charge the spare Gogeta, and again, if we don't see the draw coming off of it, we will literally have to, actually, wow, I don't even know how to type that. If we don't see the draw coming off of this, we're gonna actually have to just scoop up the deck and see another hand. So draw 1, draw 2, yep, see that? Like I said, you have to see the right cards at the right time. And even though I only run 2 of these and 3 of these, we've seen those more than we've seen our Gokus and Vegetas. So, all right. So yeah, I'm gonna scoop up the deck, and we're gonna try this again. Alrighty then. So, let's see what we're looking for. We need a Fusion and a Goku. All right, Gotenks is cool. That's definitely not gonna be something we mull back. This is a good start, but if we can see that Goku too. All right, that's not a bad start. Okay. So, we're gonna put that back. We're gonna put this back. And we need to keep this because that's a fusion at the end of the day. Draw 1, draw 2. Okay, we've got a lot of cards that we can use. For 6, they got a 6. We got a 2. They got a 5. So we'll be going second, which is fine. This deck doesn't mind going second at all. So my turn would be to draw this. Okay, we only need one of those per game, of course. So we're just gonna put this guy here. We got a Vegeta and we got a Goku, but we really want to see if we can get the TP Goku. So I'm gonna draw 2. Okay, I'm glad I got the Veku, and we're gonna take a life. Perfect. Okay, so we got a lot of stuff we can do here. Absolutely perfect. We're at this, so we're gonna take 2 life. Okay, so going second, we can swing for 10k. Just try to apply a little bit. Tap that. Play Veku, and then pitching the Goku, pitching the Vegeta. Now we will not actually end up going into we won't be going into the Gogeta search because that's a little too much for us right now. So we're just gonna get that Veku. Wow, so we could awaken this turn if we wanted to, but there's no reason, not on 1 energy. We're gonna get that swing off, and then we're gonna pop him to get this back and this back. Then we're gonna go into Veku, dropping this and this again. Taking that card from hand for next turn, and then being able to get off one more swing, whether it be on an active card they have out, whether it be on the leader to apply a little pressure, but then we're going to pop him to get our fusion material back again. So as you can see, just by opening up the Goku and this Vegeta, like if I didn't have these Gogeta pieces, I could have tried to swap them off the top of my deck, but we're sitting here. Now if they want to bring that additional life to me just by swinging with their leader, that's fine. Next turn I'm going to draw. We no longer have a need for this, and we got our last Gogeta piece, so we're not going to be doing any Gogeta searching. But we're going to put that there. We can clearly just go directly into Homeboy Gotenks. Give him 2 counters. Plus 0 him to draw a card. Cool, another after image. How many cards after him? 3, okay. So we're going to do that, and then we are going to just put out a... We're going to drop the Vegeta to draw 2 more cards. Cool. And then we can go into this Veku to get a counter from this one. We're not going to take any more cards from life, but we will actually get the attempt to swing, especially if your opponent's still on Awaken on 2. You can at least make them ditch a card in life or try to put them down. There's no reason not to swing. Pop this guy to get the fusion materials back that I didn't drop, these 2, and then I'll play Veku again. We're doing this because actually we don't need to play Veku. We can chill on this only because that's all we need to have 5. I just want to get sparking. But yeah, swing with the Gotenks and then wait. You know, if they might be able to take a marker or 2 off of it, but we really only care if they're about to kill it, because if we're about to kill it, we can always throw in an after image going down a life. Then for the turn, oops, yeah, so let's say they get a swing on it, they get another swing on it, stuff happens. So drawing into the next turn, we still want to be able to get off another effect of this. We don't have any duplicates. This is a kind of hard call, but I'm going to put this here because we're going to get all the tokens we need essentially. Actually, yeah, it's not a hard call at all if you think about it that way. So what we're going to do here is the first thing we're going to do is drop this Vegeta to just score 2 additional cards. Okay, we like both of those. and then we're going to tap all 3 of these to play our Deflect Buddy. He's gonna come in here, and Union Fusion is gonna give him 1 counter, but this Gogeta is gonna give him another counter. Then the very next thing that's gonna happen is we're gonna draw 2 more cards from this Gogeta, and then we are going to neg 15 to everything on board, and we're going to alt face Awaken to untap energy and draw 1, which wasn't our Gotenks, which makes us sad. So now we're able to, we're not playing anything else this turn. I mean, you could still, sorry, you drop these. So we could still, yeah, we can't fuse again. So I think at this case, we just pile this guy on, giving this guy 2 more counters, making him a threat for next turn. And then we're going to swing. We still haven't +0'd on Gotenks, because if we see another Gotenks, we're shoving him right under, which we don't. But, so now, now that we know we're not gonna see another Gotenks, it's safe to say that we can +0 him to draw another card. Get in with the 15, get in here. Now you got, in my grave, 1 Goku, 2 Goku, 2 Vegetas. So if we wanted to, we could have pushed double strike by dropping a single card. Let that be known, because that is an important factor in this. So that is still something that can happen. But from here, it's just about surviving for 1 turn, which we possibly can, because we can hit this and Violent Raise. Violent Raise can discard this Goku so that things over 20,000 can attack. And if we do need to do 1 more thing, we can always hit that, gaining a life. And we still have 2 super combos in hand. So that's pretty much how that works. Untapping next turn, I mean, even if we have to use them, they're just there. I can't really predict what pressure my opponent will put in. But going into next turn, we draw a card, and if they couldn't swing out on Gotenks, this becomes a very, very strong turn. We play this, right? And we have a lot of cards to go off of. We can put this under this if we want to. How many life do we have left? If this is going to be our last turn, there's a lot of stuff we can do here. We can go for a fusion right here, dropping this and this, taking 1 more life just to see an additional card. Okay. We could have 1 more swing. We might want to apply pressure in the right places, so we can have 1 more swing here. We can kill this guy to bring back a Vegeta and a Goku. And then if we just want to really charge our field, you know, we just Union Fusions, that goes up by 1. We have so many more plays that we can do here. We can discard this and discard that to play another Gogeta Fusion of the Gods, drawing 2 more cards. Okay, nothing to write home about. Swing over with, yeah, swing with the single strike. -5. We got a 30k double strike, dual attack. So I'm gonna just swing with my leader. He's going to draw a card. Right here, we might even try to dig for the SER. We've gotten so many. So I mean, discarding. Oops, my bad. Discarding that to the bottom of the deck. Yeah, discarding that to the bottom of the deck, we can at least draw 2. Okay, see, there's the Broly SCR right there. So we've got that, and we've also negged the field by 15k right there. So that's 30, and oh yeah, we also can activate battle. We're still not even done yet. Activate battle, so that's a 30k double strike right there. Then you've got Gotenks for, you know, double strike pressure. You got this guy who's gonna minus 20k to something, and then if their field is clear, you know, drop this guy on by dropping 2 red cards. Okay, and we've still got so much pressure in hand. I mean, drop that by dropping 2 red cards. That's tight. You can send all of it to the grave to play Broly. You got another double striking thing. So really, that's just kind of how it goes. And then I think the last thing I want to do is show you guys maybe, I don't know, just 4 opening hands. Not even playing off of them, but just showing you 4 opening hands to see the variance in this deck, because you guys saw like a dead hand and you saw a pretty live hand. So yeah, let me show you something real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, literally putting those 2 back because we just want a Veku and we want something else. Drawing 1, 2. That's dead. I mean, the only thing is the draw can save you, you know? The draw can literally save you. Fair. We're potentially not dead anymore. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This hand could be very dead. We're gonna 1, 2, 3, shuffle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This hand isn't even. Okay, it might have gotten playable quick. See, like, we only need to see a single Vegeta to know this hand is dope, and we could also be looking at the top of the deck as well. Like, oh no, oof. See, yeah, nah. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Hand is scary. Oh, see, once again, we're over at a hand that looks like it's this close to being great. And of course, we could be summoning these to see the top 3 cards of our deck, but we're likely to just net more cards doing that. And you see, clogged. Okay, this hand actually is going to be at the very minimum fire. Actually, I'd keep that Gotenks. Like, this hand just needs a red and we're gonna be fine. Like, see, this is a rare hand. It automatically is going to be a decent hand. You have your startup. Yep. Got the fusion. We use this one for energy most likely because the rest is an expendable. You got the fodder for next turn to drop. This is a busted hand. So there you have it. In terms of variables, this is a bunch of hoops to shoot from. As you saw, out of 5 hands, only 2 of them were like off the rip playable. The other ones I'd have to bank on my next turn, and sometimes that next turn requires me ditching a piece from my hand that was necessary in the setup. So there is a bit too much in terms of variation from hand to hand. It's not really a consistent deck because you have the fusion fodders. Like, the deck is essentially split into 3 pieces: the fusion fodders, Goku and Vegeta, the Vekus, and the Gogetas. And you need to draw them in a specific order. You need to open up with Goku and Vegeta's Vekus, but you need to amass your Gogetas at the beginning of the hand, and as the turns go by. And you know, honestly, if you end up seeing Goku, Vegeta, and Gogetas, sorry, your early game's not getting off because the Gogetas need energy or need to EX evolve. If you see Vekus and Gogetas, you're not doing anything because you can't fuse to begin with. So the deck needs to be very sequenced in its already combo drawy kind of fashion. So that is kind of a big bummer, not gonna lie. Secondly, it's kind of hard to drop Gotenks. A lot of the decks coming out this set will swing ferociously on 2 energy, and you don't want to tap out there. But if you're not playing it on 2, you're certainly not playing it on 3 most cases, because you need to stick that Gogeta to start really going off, because you can't kill for sure until really turn 4. So between Gogeta having the annoying clause of not being able to play battle cards the turn you play him, between the deck not really having a solid space to play its unison, like, geez, I wish it was 1-drop like Kale. If it was 1-drop like Kale, your turn 1 play would immediately be Gotenks, fusing, getting their markers up. It would have been beautiful, but instead we kind of had a weirder little function. So that is what it is. Let me know in the comments if you feel the same way about the cards from this set. It's like they add on to the archetype, they don't necessarily add on to the potency of the archetype. If you have a different build, by all means, talk to me about it in the comments. Talk to me on Twitter at UniXDBS. I'd love to see your suggestions, but I just want to make the comment section a forum, you know? So I would consider this kind of a locals level deck. Like, I wouldn't beg any tournament I wanted to actually take home wins on the validity of this deck. Not as just the Gogeta archetype, at least. I mean, like I said, there are other builds that involve the vanilla card that are really, really aggro, but this is just too many variables for me. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the archetype breakdown. There will be more. There's a lot to cover in this set, and I will be back with more videos. So just do me a favor, hit that like button if you like the content, think about subscribing, and I'll see you guys next time you decide to join me in Universe X. Bye.